Hello, today's class we are going to work on postnatal hip stabilization. We're also going to open up our upper body and work on some shoulder stabilization as well because that's super important for postnatal. We're going to start class today on hands and knees. So you can come to tabletop position. Wrists are going to go under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread your fingers out wide, keeping everything stable, hips, pelvis, everything else. On your inhale, the only thing that's going to move is your belly relaxes down towards the mat. And then exhale, envision the sides of your belly coming to the back of your spine, hip bones closing together, and rib cage coming in. Inhale, relax, let everything release down towards the mat. Exhale, rib cage comes together, belly to the back of the spine. Keep going with the natural flow of your breath. And everything else stays exactly where it is. So we're reconnecting to the core, beginning to use the deepest core muscle, the transverse abdominis, and linking that with our breath so that we can have proper breathing, helps with pelvic floor function, and overall stabilization throughout the body. From here, we'll move right into cat-cow. So on your next inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. If it feels good, you can lift your sit bones towards the ceiling. And then exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, squeeze the core. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Keep going. So you might notice that some of your hips or muscles seem a little bit loose. Maybe they're still healing. Maybe relaxin is still leaving your body, so things are still just beginning to tighten up. So take this practice as your own. If something doesn't feel right, back off. If something feels too uncomfortable or loose, just make sure to modify it so that this practice works for you. One more time. Come to a neutral spine. Again, letting the belly relax down towards the mat. And then exhale, lower core comes in, hip bones come together. Holding this, but continuing to breathe. Inhale, we're going to extend the left leg straight back. Tap the toe on the ground. And then exhale, bring it in. Using that lower core to bring the leg in. Inhale, extend, trying not to rock from side to side. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. A few more times each side, just really focusing on core connection, using your core to bring the leg in. So we are doing pelvic stabilization today, but we're also going to work on core function because to have strong hips, you need a strong pelvis, you need a strong pelvic floor, you need strong glutes. So all of that is going to be covered today. And come to neutral. This time just working with the arms. Again, inhale, let the belly relax. Exhale, squeeze the core in. Hold it here, continue to breathe. Right hand is going to tap onto the left shoulder. Exhale, release down. Inhale, switch. Exhale, down. Again, really taking your time to move from side to side. We don't want to be going really fast. We're using slow functional movements here. That's helping our whole body stabilize and strengthen. One more time. And come to neutral. Good job. From here, we are going to tuck our toes and send the hips back onto the heels. So if it gets really intense and you can't come all the way up, maybe you just want to start with keeping your hands down for right now. Otherwise, come all the way up if you can. If you need to untuck your toes at any point, feel free to do that. We're really working into all these little muscles into our body today. Extend the arms straight out and then allow the thumbs to point up and fingers cup in. So make sure that your lower back isn't rounding. You're not sticking your butt out. Keep your pelvis neutral. There should be a little groove in your lower back. And we're going to begin shoulder mobility. So one thumb is going to point down, one thumb is up. And switch. So just really focusing on the shoulders moving here. Might notice some noises, some cracks, some creaks. Really want to have strong, mobile bodies so that we can care for baby. And also recover from birth and pregnancy. Sometimes if we go too hard, too fast, we might notice that our other muscles start to compensate because the muscles that we need to use are still weak and recovering. And when that happens, you tend to get more injuries. A few more times. Take a few deep breaths here. Go ahead and bring those arms down. Slowly take your hands down towards the mat. Peel your toes off. Give your feet a little pat if you need to. And now we're going to come down onto our right side. Coming onto your forearm, elbow is going to stay directly underneath the shoulders. Hand comes to your hips. Make sure that you're not rolling your hips forward or back. Keep them stacked on top of each other. Really press into the elbow so that you're not collapsing down into that shoulder. Keep that shoulder pressing down, lifting up and out of it. Take an inhale in. Exhale, we're going to lift the hips towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. And you might not get that high at first. That's totally okay. Just embrace where you're at and know that we all start somewhere at some point, and just be proud that you're starting here today. And release. Good job. Now we're going to extend all the way down. You can rest your head into your palm. Again, hand is going to go to the hip. Inhale, lift the left leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze the thighs together. Inhale, lift. And exhale, squeeze. So now we're working glutes, inner thighs, pelvic floor, a little bit of core. We're using those muscles that are going to stabilize the pelvis. Inner thighs are really important for helping stabilize the pelvis. One more time. Now we're going to advance this. If you can't advance it, just continue with the regular clams. Inhale, lift the top leg. Exhale, straighten it. Inhale, heel comes together. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, heels come together. Exhale, squeeze. 3 more times, just like that. You might notice the glutes starting to burn. Really working into those side glutes so that those muscles can help you walk and function throughout the day, and not your front muscles. They should not be doing that job for you. We want our glutes to be doing the job. And come back together. Left hand's going to go into the mat. Push yourself back to tabletop position. We're going to place the palms slightly in front of the shoulders. You're going to lean forward just slightly. So in this modified plank, if it's too much, just come back to tabletop. Otherwise, lean forward. Keeping your arms straight, let your right hip drop down to the mat. You're going to feel a stretch in your right glute and along your right side. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, hips drop to the left. Again, arms stay straight. You might notice that you have to use your core a little bit to inhale and slowly let your body release down. But we're also stretching some muscles that might not get a lot of stretch. One more time. Come to center, and we're going to switch to the left side. Coming down onto your forearm to begin. So left shoulder over the left elbow. Right hand comes to your right hip. Hips are stacked on top of each other. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, lift the right hip to the ceiling. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Pressing the elbow into the mat, lifting up out of your shoulder. Release down. Let your arm extend and your head release into your hand. Right hand goes to the hips, making sure you're not rolling forward or back. Heels stay connected. Inhale, lift the top leg to the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze them together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Keep going. Last one. Now advancing it, if it's in your practice, inhale, lift the top leg. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, heels come together. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale and exhale. And squeeze. Last one. And squeeze together. Good job. Come back to tabletop position. Again, hands and knees. This time wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to take the palms a little further in front of the shoulders. Drop the hips down towards the mat. Arms come right alongside your chest. Lift your gaze. Exhale. Let the hips come back. Little shortened child's pose. Inhale, rolling up your spine. Coming up, drop the hips, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, we're going to bend the elbows. They go straight back, right alongside your chest. Slowly bring your forehead down onto the mat. Stay here. Your arms are going to come out from your shoulders, high onto your fingertips. Hips and pelvis are going to stay in the mat. Elbows are pointed towards the ceiling. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Take a deep inhale, rolling through your shoulders, up your neck, lifting your chest up, and then head's going to be the last thing to look up. Exhale, slowly lower your chest down onto the mat, and head will be the last thing to touch. Inhale, pressing up from the shoulders, lift the chest, lift the head, and exhale, release down. Two more times, just like that. And release down. Palms come underneath the shoulders. Press your chest up. Sit the hips back. Tuck the toes. And then send the hips to the ceiling as the chest comes to the thighs into down dog. Take a moment to pedal the feet out. Gaze is going between the legs, pressing into the palms. And then press both heels down towards the mat. Shift your weight into your left foot. Your right foot is going to come up off the mat. The knee and the toe are going to stay pointed down towards the mat. Hips are square. Press through your heel. You might not get that foot too high. That's okay. Deep breath in. Long exhale out. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Right foot comes to the mat. Left foot comes up. Press through your heel. Toe and knee are pointed down towards the ground. Arms are staying long and strong, and shoulders stay square. Deep inhale in. Exhale out. One more. And release down. Take your gaze between your hands. You're gonna drop your knees down onto the mat. From here, we're gonna take the right foot and place it between your hands and come up to an upright position. So I want this front leg at a 90-degree angle. I want you to focus on squeezing the left glute, even check in with that, make sure that that is active and doing its job. And then take a deep inhale in. Exhale, maybe you press your hips forward towards the front of the mat. Should feel a nice stretch into the left hip flexor. Now, if this is getting too intense for you, if you feel like your hips are still a little loosey-goosey, back off a little bit. That's totally fine. Otherwise, let your hips release down. And then we're going to take the right hand to the right hip. Left arm is going to reach up and over to the right. Again, keep on squeezing the left glute. Maybe sink down a little further. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left arm is going to drop down to your hips. From here, we're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee off the mat, and then turn the back foot off to the side. Open the arms to warrior two. So you're really pressing this right knee open. You're externally rotating the right knee. Gaze is over your front hand. Now we're going to move through a little bit of a pose that's going to help, again, bring strength and stabilization. So on your exhale, you're going to straighten your front leg, bend into your left leg, hand is going to go to your left knee. Inhale, arms come all the way back overhead, and then exhale back into warrior two. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come to your left knee, right leg is straight. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior two. So if you're, again, feeling any issues or that it's really loose, just back off on your movement. So bring your legs a little closer together. Don't lunge as far. Just starting to get used to the strength and mobilization. One more time. And back into warrior two. Go ahead and windmill your hands down, frame the front foot, drop your back knee down onto the mat and step the right knee back to meet the left. Shift your hips forward and bend your elbows, slowly lower your chest down onto the mat. Forehead's the last thing to touch. This time, the hands are going to come behind your back, interlace your fingers, and then press your knuckles down towards the feet as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the head up off the mat, lifting the chest up as high as you can, pressing the hips into the mat, and the top of the feet come into the mat as well. Deep inhale in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale here. And exhale, lift back up. Bringing those hands back as far as you can. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale, release down, stacking those forearms on top of each other. Let your forehead rest on your forearms. And we're just going to shake the hips from side to side. Find stillness. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up to tabletop position. From here, left leg is going to come between the hands. Inhale up to an upright position. Taking that foot in so you're at a 90-degree angle. Right glute is squeezing. Check in with that glute. Left hand comes to your left hip. Inhale. Exhale, maybe you press your hips forward a little bit more. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, hinge to the left. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little further. Breathe. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, right hand releases down. Tuck your back toe, lift the back knee off the mat. Turn the back heel off to the side. Open the arms into warrior two. Left knee is pressing open. Inhale, arms come up, straighten your left leg, and then bring your hands down to your right knee. Your right knee might turn off at an angle a little bit. Make sure it's tracking over your toes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale up. Exhale, lunge to the right. Inhale and exhale. 2 more times. Last time. Release into warrior two. Windmill the hands down, frame the front foot, drop the back knee onto the mat, and let your left leg meet the right. We're gonna kick the feet off to the side. Come onto your side, and then roll onto your back. From here, we're going to do a couple pelvic tucks to connect to the core again, and then work on a little bit of stabilization. So the hands can come to the hips, and you're going to take an inhale in. You're going to press your lower spine, so your tailbone into the mat. Have this nice arch in your lower back, and then exhale. Roll and press the lower back into the mat. Scoop the pelvis underneath you. Squeeze the lower core. Inhale, expand the belly. Arch the back. Exhale, press the back into the mat. Scoop the pelvis. Tighten the core. A few more times. So this, as we become very exaggerated, is just as our body slightly moves when we breathe. We have a little bit of movement in our pelvis, and breath can be so important. From here, we're going to move right into bridge. So inhale, arch the back. Exhale, press the lower back, scoop the hips, and then press the feet into the mat as you squeeze the glutes and pressing the hips up as high as you can, where you're not scooping the pelvis underneath you. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time. Lower the hips back down. Sit bones and tailbone press into the mat. Exhale, press the lower back. Lift the hips, squeeze the glute. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Good job. Slowly lower the hips down onto the mat. Press the lower back into the mat and then lift the feet up off the mat, bringing them at a 90-degree angle. Now you might move the feet a little further away to intensify or bring them closer to make it a little easier, but make sure that lower back is staying pressed into the mat. And if this is good enough, this is where you're at, that's great. Just stay here, feel the core tighten, maybe use your hands, use tactile motion so that you can know where it's activating, where it's not. If you want to move it forward a little bit, you're going to exhale, tap the right foot onto the mat. Inhale, use the core to lift it up. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Shake and let that tremor strengthen your body. But if you're feeling any pain, please back off. One more time, both sides. Let the knees come into the chest, rock from side to side, massaging the lower back out. Come back to center. Allow your feet to drop down onto the mat. Roll over to one side and push yourself up. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.